Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Tea with Trina. I'm excited to be on with you today. I'm going to be sharing with you what I'm having for tea. But before I get into that, I want to just share that my lighting is a bit off. It is storming here, rain, heavy rain. So I'm trying to be in a space where I have good light because I haven't set up any other lights in this space. And I am at home. It's a holiday here where we are now in Germany. So all my family is at home. And it has been like a kind of a chill day, though we have still all of our items to unpack, right? All of our items to unpack. And they're sitting here around me. So I'm not in my normal space for a tea with Trina. But I wanted to come on and share this talk with you today about we are all here to live fulfilling lives. Before I get into that, I do want to share with you what I'm having for tea. It is smelling so good. Okay, so this tea is English caramel tea. It's a loose leaf tea, and it's a bit of I put some cane sugar in this and oat milk in this tea. And it's the first time I'm having this tea. I went to a tea shop last week. Was it last? Not this weekend. We headed to a tea shop on Saturday. Yes. And stopped into this tea shop and had all of these loose leaf teas that I had not heard of. And so I got me a couple bags of the tea. And this is what I'm having today. Mm, and it's really nice. It's grounding. Mm. You can taste the caramel in it. And it's a little bit of hmm, well, it's a black tea, so you can taste a little oh, how can I describe this? A bit of heaviness, but not too much. But that's the tea that I'm having, and I'm enjoying that tea today. I'm not for sure what you're having today, but hopefully you are enjoying it. And I celebrated a birthday a couple days ago. Thank you so much to all of you who wished me a happy birthday in these spaces. I so appreciate it. I'm going to come through when I have a moment to sit and just say thank you. We have we have all of our things that were shipped to us over the weekend that we're taking time to unpack. So spending some time doing that. Though on my birthday, my family did a lot of the unpacking and let me just sit and be. And I kind of handed like two things out of to put away, but that's probably all that I did. Other than that, they was like, just, chill. And they did some work and then we headed out to dinner. But I wanted to share with you about the truth that we are all here to lead fulfilling lives. And I'm sharing this with you. It's coming out of a share that I did on for my email list, but I thought it was important that I share and do a live about it. Because not too long ago, we were facing a government shutdown, and having a lot of people be concerned about the impact, what would come out of it. And I know that thankfully we had been, the continuing resolution has been extended for another few weeks. But I had somebody say to me the other day, and this is also why I wanted to share this with you on this live. Oh, thank God that your family skated by on this government shutdown. Like, oh, you don't have to, deal with that. And it got me thinking about what I shared recently with my list. And so I'm like, let's talk about it. Let's talk about this because it's so important. And it was a moment of me in this time, like knowing that, okay, this may come up. We need to be mindful of what we're putting out, what I'm doing, and how much I'm taking on with what I'm doing, because I may need to shift my thought or shift priorities as far as financially and really focus in on. But I want to talk about this today because I remember when we were in the government shutdown of 2018. And we were in that government shutdown for 35 days. It started a couple of days before Christmas and lasted throughout January, or well into January, like the third week in January. Um, And it was the longest time in history that our government, the US government, had been shut down. And my family at that time was severely impacted by the shutdown because we had temporary loss of income. But the issue was we had just moved that summer before the government shut down. And anytime you move, it's costly. But we had just moved the summer before that shut down. But before that, we had just moved to the US from outside of the country. And when we were outside of the country prior to that in 2016, 2017, I was working a full time job. But then in 2017, I did not have a job when we moved back to the US. I had my business I was running, but I was like taking on a few clients here and there. And I was not working full time, but just being fine working and sitting with, or being fine with, um, having my husband like support the family while I took care of the transition, took care of the kids, and kind of just did work here and there. The honest truth is like since 2010, I have been in this pattern of onboarding clients and then and having a few clients, not a lot, but onboarding like two or three clients at a time. And it was not really a strategy that was behind my business. And I would activate my business in a way um, while we were traveling because we were going from country to country. As many of you may know, that I live in different places and we move every 3 years. And so, with that, I hadn't really thought about how I would run my business moving every few years. Because as a coach, that's really good. And a consultant, sorry, the tea is really nice. But as a coach and a consultant, I would really take on clients locally. And a number of my clients, even in 2010, we did have the internet, but a lot of my clients still wanted to meet face to face. So if I was moving a bit, that wasn't working to meet face to face with my clients. And I hadn't really thought about how I would run my business virtually as a coach, as a consultant. I had a few contracts that I picked up that were okay with the virtual work, but the others that I had previously, I'm sure that, I mean, the contract had ended, but if it was a continual thing, they would have wanted me face to face. So I instead focused my energy on helping my family transition to the countries we were moving to when our kids had new schools, making sure that we were navigating those schools while I was learning a different language and a different culture. And throughout our travels, I've probably picked up two additional languages. Yes, two additional languages, and I've lived in definitely three different countries, but like probably three different states as well with our moves from here to there. And I felt at that time that if I spent more time paying attention to the family or engaging in those opportunities, we would financially be fine for the time being because my husband's salary could cover the family. And I got comfortable with that. I mean, I was working my business, I was working it on a part time basis and making sure everybody was, transitioning fine. And then we also didn't have much savings saved up because every time we moved, we would deplete our savings on the move and then replenish it throughout the year. So we had these moves, so we had no savings at that moment. And then when the 2018 government shutdown happened, that impacted us because we were already living paycheck to paycheck at that moment, and that caused us to barely be able to make it financially. And so we ended up having to ask families for support and having a very frugal Christmas that year. And I remember being frustrated and very hurt about the situation. Like, there's no way I like with my gifts and my talents and my degrees, there's no way we should be in this situation where we have to ask for support for 30 days just to get by for the next when we get paid again or when the government opens again. And I ended up thinking about, okay, I have to shift this now. And I refocused on my business. I relaunched it. I actually relaunched it in January of 2019, started a new LLC because I was in a totally different state, and ended up creating income in my business. That year, created a little bit of money, not a lot. I was also working on an independent contractor. So there was some money coming in for me, but I created money in this business. And the next year, I grew my revenue, generated, I 10x'd it, I 10x'd my revenue that following year. And then after that, I grew it 6 times, and was working on the business, paying attention to what I needed to do. I was working with clients, and I ultimately ended up working with a client who was in education, but then stepped into consulting and who wanted to create their own business so that they could make a bigger impact. And I understood at that moment that in order to make a bigger impact, one would need to have resources to help facilitate that growth and the impact that you're here to make. And in order to grow that business, you needed to create an aligned strategy. I created an aligned strategy to grow my business from like making zero to um, making more money than I had ever made, even when I was working full time. And I knew that this strategy and this process could work for other people. So I started working with clients again. And one of my clients I was working with generated income in his brand new business within the first 90 days of us working together. He generated $30,000 in 3 months with a brand new zero business. So from zero to 30,000 in 3 months. And then I understood at that moment that my client had a process that put him on a trajectory to generate 6 figures. And I knew that this process could be served helping other, or could be used helping other business owners. And I wanted to focus on helping other business owners to constantly implement this process so that they could generate 6 figures in their own business. And so I decided to offer this program as a part of my business, helping my client to grow his. The process helped me grow mine. And it gave me an opportunity, and I think as well as my client, an opportunity to make the impact that we're here to make, to begin living a life that we desire, to move us closer to freedom and living a fulfilled life. And it also gave me like an understanding and an opportunity to breathe deeper. Like, if another government shutdown comes up, I know that we're gonna be okay. I'm not gonna have to like feel like we're stretched, or we're needing to ask someone for support, because we will be able to utilize the money that I have created to be able to do that. And so I'm excited that I've been able to activate this process and use this process to help my clients. In fact, most of my clients that I've been working with have generated income in their business from our process, from working together, of just repeating the steps and the strategy that I've given them. And I think that that's important because it helps us to begin to create the life and and engagement we desire. And I talk about this because it's really the foundation of what is to come. The strategy that I help people put in place is the foundation of what you're here to grow. It's really about getting closer to the freedom, living a fulfilled life. And I do this because I believe that everybody is deserving of the life that they are here to lead and to live. And to live it with joy, to live it steeped in freedom, and to live it with fulfilled, and to experience love in that moment, and the excitement and enthusiasm. And I believe that we all have a vision. I believe that we all have a purpose, and that we're here to activate our gifts, our talents, our purpose, and our vision, and live a life full of joy. That's what I deeply believe. And one of my core values is freedom. And I believe that when you create 6 figures in your business, you create the foundation for freedom. Okay. You create the foundation for freedom in life and in business. And once you create that foundation, you can create the freedom for your lives and make a bigger impact. And so and really impact the lives that you're here to make. And it's really the foundation pieces that I'm talking about, because then from there you grow and you scale, and that's when you go, to seven. That's where you're looking to go to eight. And but I'm talking about these foundation pieces that will help you scale and grow without falling apart later on, like being a seven business and you don't have these things in place, and then everything just falls out from under you. So I help my clients put the foundational pieces in place, and help them to create freedom in their lives. And I do that so that they can create the freedom in their lives, and also in freedom in the community that they served, and making the bigger impact, the impact that they're here to make. And when I learned about the experience that we experienced in 2018, with dealing with the government shutdown, then no income and no strategy, was that my actions determine what I produce. And I had a choice to produce results that would not serve me in a few months or a year later, or to take action and put in a strategy to produce the results that I wanted to have, that would allow me to step further into a life of abundance. And so I had to shift the trajectory of my business and ultimately my life and generate income, and really believe and know that I had the power to do so. And so I faced tons of trial and error in my business, tons of trial and error. Not everything has always been, um, I haven't done everything right. No, not at all. I've done a lot of things that have not worked, and there have been things that have worked. But the thing is that I figured out what was for me to create, and have created strategies and activated those strategies that have helped me grow, versus staying stagnant and staying in a place that was just that stagnant, and that was negatively impacting me, my family, and my future generations. I had to like break that and get out of that space. And so when I did that, I had my a huge aha moment. And that was that, in that moment, I was thinking, what if the strategies that I use to generate income could help other people, and to help other business owners go from an idea to six figures in their business? And that's when I began to utilize my process with other clients, and help my client to go from an idea to creating a six figure business. And I did this coaching, from a place of confidence, and stepping in that. And when we stepped into that experience, we both exceeded. We exceeded. My client exceeded what he had imagined in his business, and I exceeded, working with my client, what my clients have been able to do. Like, it was another level up in that process. And so recently, now I've been coaching my clients to create six figure success in their business using the strategies that I give. And I give these strategies, and some of my clients may know I give them in a step by step process, just so that the foundation is being laid. Um, and allow them to cultivate leads to generate income. And they normally do generate income and cultivate leads in 90 days or less. And they're able to do this, and create belonging in their business and in their process, and have become world changers, have been able to impact their communities and step into their own authenticity while making a significant impact in the world. Um, and so I created this coaching process from idea to six figures, because I'm on a mission. I'm on a mission to help business owners create the foundation of their business and cultivate lasting change, generate more leads, make more income, make a bigger impact. I believe that when business owners do the work that they're here to do, they're able to change lives. And when they do that and care about the people that they work with, they make a bigger impact. And that they are able to create that six figure foundation, that business success that helps them build their business, ultimately leading to living more fulfilled lives. And so that is why I do the work that I do, because I believe that we're all here to lead fulfilling lives. You, me, all of us, and everyone that I come into contact with. So I wanted to share this Tea with Trina message with you today, and would love to hear your feedback. You can comment, you can send me a message and let me know what came up for you today in the share. Um, and then we'll go from there. I have another message that I'll be sharing tomorrow on my Changemakers page for Tea with Trina, which I think it's going to be a really important one to check out as well. So make sure you join me on, I normally go live on Facebook. So it'll be on Facebook, Trina Bolden Fields. So my full name at Trina Bolden Fields. So join me there. I'll be sharing live there for a message that talks about strategy. Okay. So I'll talk to you soon, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.